What's going on YouTube? This is Jim Afanis, aka Viper Magic, and today I want to give you guys the quick and dirty, no kidding guide on how to get your PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 controller hooked up to your PC to play your favorite game. My favorite game right now is this bad boy right here, Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PC. Now the issue that I have with Grand Theft Auto, and many of you may have when it comes to controlling the game via keyboard, is that the controls are completely digital. In other words, when you hit W in your car to go forward, the game registers that as maximum throttle. Likewise, when you hit the S key, it's maximum brake. The same is also true for turning to the left and to the right. What ends up happening is you can't finesse into a turn like you would on a normal racing game. You can't ease off into the gas and ease into the brake. You can't ease in or out of a turn. And what you have to do is, in order to kind of trick the system, is you have to tap your keys. So if you want to turn left just a little bit, it's A, or D, just a smidge. And that is really frustrating. And that's where a stick comes in handy. An analog stick with a range of motion that goes just a little bit or a whole hell of a lot. It's really simple to do. And I know a lot of you guys may already have the hookup for Windows, which is by default the Microsoft controller for the Xbox 360. The Xbox One also now has drivers, but if you have a PlayStation 4 controller like me, fret not, I got the hookup for you. It's quick and dirty, so I'm going to switch over to some screen capture and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright guys, we are now looking at my desktop. What you're going to do is open up your browser and navigate to this URL, which is the Xbox 360 controller for Windows driver download page. I'll put a link in my description box below, so don't even worry about having to write this stuff down. You're just going to navigate down to here, and you're going to select the Xbox 360 controller for Windows, and go ahead and select the operating system you're currently using. By the way, guys, if you are gaming on a Windows Vista machine, it is probably time to upgrade. FYI. Anyways, select the operating system that you have along with the bit level. Windows 8 users, my understanding is the Windows 7 drivers work just fine. If you got a Windows 8, don't worry about it. Select Windows 7 and off you go. I'm not even going to install this for two reasons. One, because I've already done it. And two, because it's super easy to do. You're just going to hit next a few times, let the thing install. It's going to install some drivers. It's going to prompt the restart, and you are done. There's no executables or anything that you have to worry about after it's installed. It's basically just a driver set. After you get up and running again, you want to navigate over to this website, which is inputmapper.com. Again, I'll put a link in the description box below. And you want to download the latest version of Input Mapper. Right now, as the time of this recording on May 7th, 2015, we're up to Input Mapper 153, which as you see has included some little descriptions over here. Not a big deal. You're going to go ahead and install this. Again, super simple. This does not prompt a restart. When you are done, you're going to have the Input Mapper. You're not going to have this. You're going to have the Input Mapper executable on your desktop. You're just going to fire it up. As you can see, no compatible controllers are detected because I haven't plugged in anything yet. Now, if you guys are on a laptop and you want to use the Bluetooth feature with your PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 controller, go right ahead. I want to warn you guys, though, when you press the button on your PlayStation controller, the home button, there is a good chance if your PlayStation is within range, it will turn on. I want to warn you guys about that because when I was fiddling around with the program, I did that a few times. And before I know it, I heard Resogun playing through my speaker. Saved Last Humans. I'm like, what the hell is this? Sure enough, the range on Bluetooth is deceivingly long, so beware. I recommend when you're fiddling around with this, you just go ahead and unplug your PlayStation 4. That way you don't have anything to worry about. Anyways, if you don't have the Bluetooth like me, I'm on my desktop, just use the charging cable that came with it and plug it right into your USB drive and then plug it in like normal. I would recommend you get a piece of electrical tape or duct tape and cover up the light bar on the front because there's no way to dim it. It is very, very bright and it's going to reflect on your monitor. Anyways, I just went ahead and plugged mine in and boom, there you go. Controller 1 has been detected, and as you can see, it is now in the Input Mapper. Now, something I want to mention about this. You do have different profiles if you want to use them, but you don't have to. You can leave it at default. And by default, it will map identically to the Xbox 360 controller, and the controls are in Grand Theft Auto. I'll show you that in a second. The reason why, and I talked about this a second ago, the reason why this is infinitely better than a keyboard is for one simple reason. Here you see the input test. I'm going to put this front and center. as you can see, I'm pressing buttons. So right now I'm hitting the square button, which translates over to X in Xbox land. Here's triangle. Here's circle. Here's X. Here's my left analog stick, range of motion. Here's my D-pad. Here's my right analog stick, range of motion. My share button, my options button, and my triggers. Now, the important thing with the trigger, I want you to look right over here on this left bumper. It's at 0. Now look at it. Slowly squeezing the trigger to max. And the game will recognize this. Again, when you're playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and you are racing and you hit the max bumper, you're going from this to this instantly. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is have this controller. You can ease into the turn and ease out of the turn. Ease into the turn, ease out of the turn. It's very simple. And if you want to, just for kicks, you can jack up the motor speed. And this controller is vibrating like crazy. Or you could turn it all the way off. It really doesn't matter. Just a little test to let you know. Just to show you another graphical representation because I can't stress this enough. I believe it is here. Again, notice my range of motion when I'm turning. Slowly to the left, slowly to the right. X-axis, a little bit, all the way. A little bit, all the way. Understand? You see how this is working out? This is very important to know. Also, the touchpad actually works. Right now I'm using the touchpad on my controller. I'm just sliding my finger across the top and it's moving smooth as butter. It's a very, very nice feature to have because it will control your mouse in-game. Speaking of in-game, I'm going to take you there right now. Okay, here we are in-game. The first thing I want to do is I want to drive just a little bit with the keyboard just to show you what I want you to focus on. And let me switch over to first-person view so you can see this actually. What I want you to focus on is my character's hands and the engine noises as I turn. So right now you can see my engine. So you can probably hear my keyboard more than anything else. When I want to turn, see how I have to constantly tap it? It's very frustrating because you're constantly fighting the wheel in these small increments. And also, if you notice, I'm constantly just full throttle. The throttle is completely dumped at all times. If I was playing a race or something and I needed to slow down, say I was taking a really sharp like a sharp corner or something, I basically have to hold down stop and you hear my car just completely skid.
Can't wait to catch the game at your place tomorrow.
It's kind of frustrating. And what ends up happening, like I said, is because you're playing digital, you don't really have that capability. Now, the controller is already plugged in. I didn't do much since I alt-tabbed over to this setting. Just want to show you, if you wanted to look at the vehicle settings, they're right here. I don't see any way to change the gamepad settings. That's one thing I'm not particularly fond of, although I have to admit it works pretty well. So this is a more intuitive setup. There may be a way to set it up. Maybe it's in a future update. Again, I don't really mind. The nice thing is control is absolutely seamless. So if you wanted to start playing with the keyboard and immediately jump to the gamepad and back and forth, you could. Now I put the keyboard away. I'm going to slide it in my tray here. Now I'm going to be switching over to my gamepad. Now the thing I want you to notice with my gamepad is look at how smooth my hands are when I turn the wheel. Again, nice gentle turns. Nice gentle turns when I'm looking. And this is the kind of controls that I would expect in a racing game. And again, if you wanted to play online against your friends or get competitive in any kind of capacity, you could. The other thing I want you to listen to is the engine noise. Now before you heard basically the engine slammed at all times. I'm just easing into it right now to the point that I'm basically maintaining my speed. You don't really hear the engine noise revving up. I'm going to shut up so you can hear it for a second. That's half throttle, maybe a little less than half. Now I'm going to do full. Here's half. Full. Half. My dog's going nuts. She loves it too. Half. Full. Half. Hey, I'm trying to be famous, damn it. Alright. The same thing applies for the right stick as well. Very, very smooth settings. Very smooth. I'm going to look down and turn a little bit just to show you one more time. It's super, super easy to do. It is absolutely seamless. I highly recommend you guys check this out. If you're at any form or really thinking about being competitive with this game in terms of online racing, I think you're going to want to invest in something like this. Now, my friend Kevin is using a steering wheel, and when he gets the settings all fleshed out, I want to go ahead and go over those with you too, even if it's just verbal. I don't have a steering wheel. Between him and I, when we play online in races, we're always 1 and 2 now. We really are. And a lot of it, I believe, has to do with these controls, the analog versus the digital. And that wraps up my quick tutorial and basic gameplay of the gamepad versus the keyboard. I hope you guys learned something today. It's super easy to use. I want you to guys go out there, get yourself a really cheap DualShock 4, jump into the game. The vibration works. If you want to use the touchpad, which I'm doing right now, that works. It's super seamless, super easy to use, and you're going to have a wonderful time doing it. I want to thank you guys for watching my video today. Please do me a favor. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this control scheme as opposed to... Let me know what you guys think about this control scheme as opposed to just a standard keyboard and mouse. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, standing in the middle of the road, I will see you guys on the other side.